Good morning. How y'all doing out today? Yes, it's Saturday, Sabbath. I just said I'm just going forward. I'm just going to everything that go on during the week, whatever I dream during the week. I'm gonna start writing it down, and then I'm just going to just speak on it, like on the Saturday, Sabbath. I'm gonna start doing it like that, just gathering everything all together, cause the vision stuff don't never really stop. So I just like try to do it like that, and just try to like on Saturdays mornings just round up everything. I didn't do it this week. And I told you God did something with my mind. So half of the stuff I don't even remember. I'm still like trying to process it. But he told me I'm going to have to write it down. Like he telling me I'm going to have a journal and then just write down everything as it go. And I'm still trying to process it the way I used to. Because I used to have a real good memory and stuff. I still got a good memory about certain things. But the vision and the dreams and stuff like that, like unless something like happened to just make me just remember, it just gonna slip my mind. And it all happened after whatever that was that happened spiritually with my memory. So I got to try to figure out a new way to remember some of this stuff that he's showing me. Yeah, y'all. So I'm gonna do the journal, and I'm just gonna start writing everything down, writing it all down, and then I'm just going to hopefully on Saturdays just follow up with everything that's just going on and just do it like that, unless it's a mercy. Like if he come to me and it's just like something extremely serious, I'm doing the video right then. Like it's just gonna be right then and there. As soon as I can do the video, that's as soon as I'm doing. If it's like one of those like very high emergency type of videos, I'm doing like that. But if it's not like a high emergency, I'm just gonna write everything down for the whole week, and then on Saturday, Sabbath, I'm gonna speak. So yeah, y'all doing good? Y'all ready for this school? I'm all over this place because of school, trying to get these kids together, trying to braid hair, trying to do a lot. It's just a lot to do. Time is rolling. Like time didn't went by so fast. Yeah, so I'm trying to get it together, y'all, for school. But yeah, kids, they start school. You know, I know Mississippi probably already started, but they start school Monday. So yeah, kids back at school. Whole just going through that process. Yeah. So what am I gonna talk about today? So yeah, y'all gonna have to let me gather my thoughts, cause it's like for all week, and then some of the stuff when God was telling me, he was like, I'm not gonna let you remember. Like some of the stuff that I was seeing, like he was letting me see it, so it's in my subconscious. But as I was seeing it, I heard a voice say, "You're not gonna remember what I'm showing you." And then that was me hearing that was making me try to zoom in even more to remember. And yeah, y'all, I don't got nothing. I don't got nothing. I ain't remember. Just like the voice said, I wasn't gonna remember. I don't remember none of it. And I was told I wasn't gonna remember as I was looking at stuff. So yeah. So what am I gonna talk about, y'all? What am I gonna talk about? I was talking to my daughter, and when I was talking to my daughter, cause she don't really know nothing dealing with tribulation, the great tribulation. She don't know nothing dealing with the rapture. Like she don't know nothing dealing with none of it. So she was in my room. We were just talking, and I was talking to her about it because, I'm just trying to like understand it with my carnal mind. This ain't even spirit. This just me just thinking on all of it. And I was like, everybody just coming up with this conclusion that God just gonna snatch up all the good, which is gonna leave all the bad. So, everybody feel like, if you good, you in the rapture, you just gonna be taken up. If you good and righteous, he just gonna take you up and just leave the bad here. So, in my mind, I was like, well, God, if you left the bad here, basically it'd be like it's no hope. It'll be no hope at that point. Because if you leave all the bad, you snatch up all the good, who's going to help? Kind of gather the people together. That's what I was saying. And, that's why I was just deep in thought thinking. I'm like, some good people going to have to stay behind. They're going to have to stay behind to try to help lead the rest of these people to get these souls saved. like Harriet Tubman, like the Underground Railroad. Like, that was my mindset. Like, it's just gonna be good people around. They're just gonna have to just be prosecuted, because you around during the tribulation. If you around during that time, and you a Christian, shoot, you're gonna be heavily prosecuted. Worse than, well, I ain't gonna say worse than Jesus, but like the disciples. I ain't gonna even put it on the level of Jesus, because I don't think nobody gonna be prosecuted to that level. But how his disciples died, which they all died kind of gruesome deaths. My mindset was like, it's just gonna be righteous. A few righteous people is going to be left behind, and these righteous people is just going to be prosecuted. If they have to deal with this, because me, and I'm being transparent, I don't want to deal with it. Like, I don't want to deal with getting the mark of the beast just to buy food, just to eat, just to drink. You got to have the mark of the beast on you just to do, like, what you need to do as a human being. I don't want to be here. I don't even want to deal with that. I let them folk who develop all this and got us to this point, let them stay and deal with all that. But I don't want to deal with none of it. So that's my mindset, dealing with the whole thing. The only way I stay back is God instruct me and tell me to stay back. But if God ain't instructing me to stay back, and I got a choice, and I can choose if I want to go or stay, I'm going. I do not want to deal with what's finna go on. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with, Sodom and Gomorrah and all that, because we ain't even there yet. We ain't even at that level. That's my voice. We ain't even at the level of his sin. That's why he ain't, and sin has to reach a peak. It has to reach a certain level, and we ain't at that level yet. So even with everything going on, even with all the deaths, even with all the evil, even with all the child abuse and and what you see against kids and all the attacks against women and the elderly, even what you seeing, all that you seeing, sin hasn't reached its peak yet. It still ain't reached its peak. So I was like, shoot, I don't want to be here for all that. That's my mindset. Like, I don't want to be here for all that. So I was talking to my daughter. And when I was talking to my daughter, I brought up the rapture and tribulation. And I asked her about, I was like, I said, if God, he pull all the good, like he just separate all the good and leave all the bad on this earth, I was like, basically, it's no hope. It'll be no hope. It'll be no hope at that point. Like, in my mind, I was thinking like, oh, okay, he's going to strategically have some of the good stay back to help try to recruit some of these people and try to lead them to God, even during the tribulation. I was like, so he going to probably pull up some of the good, but he's going to leave a few good behind just for their purpose. And I was like, and they're going to be prosecuted harshly. Because you be a Christian in the future. It's going to be worse than how the scribes and Pharisees was coming out, them 12 disciples that they killed Jesus. It's going to be bad. So, they're going to be in hiding. Like, it's going to be bad. Like, that's the only way I could process it. So I had went to my daughter with the question, because we were just talking. And so I brought it up, and my daughter didn't know nothing about nothing. She was just like, what you talking about? What you talking about? And I was like, tribulation, the rapture, And then I kind of broke it down. Then I guess as I would talk to her, God started speaking to her at that point. And then she was just like, wait, Mom, hold up. And then she was like, say what you're saying again. And, I was breaking it down, the tribulation and the rapture and all that. And she was like, well, before that, let me back it up. Before she told me to hold up, she was just like, well, Mama, you're going to be this old, Mama. You're going to be, so you shouldn't even be worried about it, because it's going to be during this time right here, and you're going to be so up in age. That's how she was talking. So I was like, the rapture. And then she was like, but what you talking, but say what you saying, say it again. So I repeated myself. And then she said, hold up. And as she said, hold up, I guess God was talking to her. She said, everything comes to her all at once. So I guess when he speak to her, it come all at once, and she have to kind of like mentally like separate what's being spoken to her and process to her. And then she tell me. So as she was talking, and she was talking about, oh, Mom, you're just going to be up at age, you good, you ain't got nowhere. as she was saying it, she said, God said it's going to be sooner. Because she gave me an age. She told me an age I was going to be. And then she was like, hold up. And then as she was talking, she said, God said it's going to be sooner than that. It's going to be sooner than the age that I told you. Because she was thinking like, Mom, you're going to be this old. So you good. And then God told her it's going to be sooner than the age that she said and spoke. So God had told her it's going to be way sooner. So she was looking, because she really don't know nothing about rapture, nothing about the tribulation, like nothing about this stuff. So as God is talking to her, she's like, he said it's going to be sooner than that. He said it's going to help, so that's how she was talking. And she said, God saying it's going to be too late for the people. Like, it's just going to be too late. He giving people time now to get right. He giving people time now to get right. But when I was talking about what I was saying, she said he was just like, it's going to be, it's pretty much going to be like, it ain't going to be no hope at that point. Like, that's how he was talking, like, it ain't going to be no hope. Like, it's hope now. But it ain't going to be no hope at a certain point, And what else she was saying? Because, see, I ain't writing none of this down. So it's off the top of my head. And I'm trying to go back mentally. So I will, because of what I'm going through today with this. And he been telling me to write this stuff down. And I ain't been writing down because I feel like I got the best memory in the world. And I ain't no need to write it down. And he's showing me firsthand that you're going to have to write this down. You're going to have to write it down. And I'm seeing that I'm really going to have to write this stuff down. So, she told me about that tribulation and stuff. Cause I kept telling her, I'm like, it's going to be like it's got to be like the underground. I can't see it being no other way. And I was just talking about as far as hope for the people, unless it was like a Harriet Tubman. They're just trying to lead people to God. And, you got these Christians and hiding. They're not trying to be prosecuted. They're stuck to do God's will. She kept telling me, don't worry. She like, you don't got nothing to worry about. Like, that's how she was saying. She like, you ain't got nothing to worry about. And then she was like, but he's saying that, these people is just going to be left to kind of fend for themselves in a way. So, and that's just me and her talking. He'll come to me about some more dealing with that tribulation stuff. But who want to be on earth dealing with all this? Like, you got to get the mark of the beast to even buy food, to even just go to shop, to do any and everything. You gotta get that mark of the beast in you some kind of way. And then about the food, how they trying to make it permanent. They're doing, like, right now they're just doing lab grown food, but they're trying to, like, make it permanent where all food come out the lab. Like, who want to deal with that? Like, who want to deal with eating this fake food? Who want to deal with all of this evil that they're trying to push right now? And everything is in the beginning stages. And even with the AI, like, who want to deal with it? Like, even with the UFOs that been on Earth, but now they want us to kind of coexist, and it's no such thing as coexisting. So who want to deal with it? And and so I was like, I don't want to be here for it. Y'all, these people that created this evil and this corruption and all this mess that's going on, let them deal with this stuff. And they got money, they feel like they can get away from it. They can't get away from it. They ain't able to get away from it. Like, I was talking to my daughter, and I was talking about the lab grown chicken. And I was like, why did the U.S. approve chicken out of all foods they could have created in the laboratory? Why was chicken, like, why did they approve chicken out of all meat to be lab grown in the U.S.? Like, why chicken? Like, out of all the meat y'all could have picked, why y'all pick chicken? And my daughter, she just couldn't stop laughing. She just couldn't stop laughing about the situation. When I was talking to her, like, every time I said it, she'd just bust out laughing. I'm like, but why the chicken, though? Like, why out of all the meat that you could have had in the lab, you pick chicken? Like, out of all the meat that people eat, you want to pick some chicken. Why? Like, it's a hidden agenda. And I ain't say it was a hidden agenda, but the way I was saying it, she like, because it's a hidden agenda. My voice. because she was in LA for a little bit, and she was in LA during a time where they first went public about them approving the lab grown chicken. And actually they were saying that California was going to be one of the first states that try out this lab grown chicken. So she was in LA during that time, and while she was in LA, she said, Mama, she said she couldn't eat it. Like she just was very just cautious about what she ate out there, especially after she heard that they approved the lab grown meat in California during the time she was out there. And she would tell me that the Chick-fil-A didn't even taste the same. She said, Mama, Chick-fil-A didn't even taste the same. She couldn't, and it could have been mental, like you just heard that they using lab grown meat in the state that you in, you just like, ain't nothing gonna taste the same. But she said she couldn't even eat Chick-fil-A. She said, Mama, Chick-fil-A in California tastes way different than Chick-fil-A here in Memphis. She likes a whole different taste. She loved Chick-fil-A, but she don't like Chick-fil-A in California. Yeah, so like who wanna deal with it? Like, and I think God not gonna just strip us where everybody just forced to eat lab grown meat. But if you depending on the government as a form of like your food source, you're probably gonna be eating lab grown meat. I think that maybe they'll have like the farmers market. You'll have to pay more for your food if you want the real food. Like you're going to have to pay more for it to get the type of food that you want, or you're going to have to create your own farms and your own gardens and all that. But I think it's just going to be, you're just going to have to have the resources available for what you want. But I think like the lab food is going to be easily accessible. Woo. Like even chicken nuggets. Like you going to get your kids some chicken nuggets at McDonald's. That might be lab grown nuggets. Like you just don't know. And then they started off in the restaurants and stuff. So you just don't know. So yeah. So I was just like, I don't want to be here for none of that. And I was speaking on. Now this controversial. Well, I'm finna say it's controversial. I'm speaking on the Jess Hilarious and Tasha K and them talking. They were talking about the women versus the trans women and all that. So I'm finna speak on that a little bit without getting into too much depth about it. But I was speaking and I was telling my daughter about how my voice. I was speaking to my daughter and I was just talking to her about rebellion. I said, it's no way the two can coexist. Like, it's no way possible for the two to coexist. I said, when you deal with God and you deal with Satan, let me get some ice. I was talking to my daughter. I said, when you dealt with God and you dealt with Satan, and God created Satan, at a certain point, Satan rebelled. Not only Satan, a third of his angels rebelled against him. They couldn't coexist. There was no way God could coexist with Satan. And like live in the same spot. Like, it's no way Satan could be in heaven with God. Like, it's no way to coexist. And I had went on to speak. And I was just saying, like, even when it comes to women and, women that identify as trans women, at a certain point, it's going to be a rebellion. At a certain point, just naturally, it's just going to create this rebellion between the women and the trans women. Just like the same rebellion between Satan and God. Satan wanted to be God, so they created a rebellion. That created a rebellion. Him and a third of his angels created a rebellion against God. And when you deal with women and trans women and everybody going back and forth, it's going to create a rebellion at some point. Because you got the trans women and, they're basically through man is creating this identity and the likeness of a woman and image of a woman. And it's going to create a rebellion against women. Now, all of them not going to rebel because all the angels didn't rebel against God. But, and I'm just going to use, he said a third of the angels rebelled against him. A third of the angels. So, even though it's not like the whole community that's going to rebel, it's going to be a rebellion and a resistance between women and trans women. It just naturally going to be that type of rebellion. And if you look at how Satan and God was and the rebellion that was created through that, it to me, it mirrored the same type of rebellion between women and trans women. And even with AI, it's going to get to the point AI and humans, it's going to be a rebellion. All AI may not rebel against humans, but it's going to be like roughly, and I'm using just like what the Bible used, a third of those AIs that's created by humans with human hands, and you giving them our minds and you trying to make them even smarter than a human being at a certain point, that AI is going to mentally outthink you, the creator, and it's going to rebel against you, and it's going to create a form of rebellion. So these robots, these AIs they're creating, at a certain point, it's going to naturally form a rebellion. The same with trans and women. At a certain point, I just see it just being a form of rebellion. It's because one group is going to feel like you can't coexist. Like, I just don't see the coexisting, because I just don't see the coexisting. Like, even with Satan God, I just don't see the coexisting. When you get and I'm speaking on like the AI, when you get them, you develop them, they taking over jobs, they doing all this stuff. You get them the minds to think, feel, even have emotion like human. At a certain point, they don't want to coexist with you. They want to conquer. They want to conquer. You got trans women and women. At a certain point, the trans women is going to want to conquer. You're going to have a group of women that want to conquer. Now, all of them may not want to, but you're going to have a group of women that at a certain point mentally, they're just going to want to conquer. You had Satan that wanted to conquer. You're going to have these robots that you're creating, you putting out here. At a certain point, you're going to create them, and they're going to be so like advanced that they're going to in themselves want to conquer. These UFOs that the government is trying to like create this atmospheric coexistence, so they're like kind of like desensitizing us to UFOs. They've been here, but they're trying to desensitize, and the UFOs are just fallen angels and stuff like that was cast out of heaven. The third of the angels that was cast out of heaven and all that. I was looking at this lady, and she just said that when God cast them out of heaven, they became wanderers at that point, like they don't have a home. And they're looking for a home right now. And God gave us humans earth for our home. So they're looking to conquer. They want our home. They want a home. They don't have a home. They're just wandering right now. So the government is trying to desensitize everybody to normalize these UFOs. So yeah, they're trying to have these. At first you was crazy if you seen one. Now they trying to go public about it, because they been hiding them. And guess what? They trying to conquer. They want to conquer. That's why they here. God gave earth to us humans, and they're trying to conquer what has been given to us. So it's gonna create a rebellion. First it's gonna be like, ooh, we can coexist. Ain't no coexisting. Because you coexist at a certain point, a group is going to, in their mind, feel like they can conquer. Oh, yeah, y'all. So, yeah. So I was just speaking on that, and I was just telling my daughter, I was just talking to her, and she said, Mom, you not lying. So, like, she didn't get into too much detail, but I was just speaking, and I was just speaking on the coexistence. I was just like, I don't see this coexistence. I see, like, even with the trans community, you say trans and women come together, and I was just like, I just don't see this coexisting, that the illusion of this coexisting that they're trying to put in the air. Because at a certain point, you got one group that's going to try to conquer. They're going to try to conquer. And they're just the bottom line of the whole thing. It's not even about coexisting. You got aliens. Even if they come and you try to, like, okay, they're coexisting with us, which is what the government is trying to get them to do. At a certain point, these aliens is going to try to conquer. They're looking for a home. They have no home. When you have AI, and you done given them, you instilled in them what God instilled in you. You done put in this robot, in this computer program. At a certain point, this AI is going to want to conquer the species. Just like Satan wanted to conquer God. It's all the same concept, y'all. So yeah. So I was just speaking on that a little bit. And the coexistence, it's no coexistence. I don't care how much you try to make, how much you try to wrap it up and fold it, try to make it look good, and how you try to present it to the world. It's no coexistence. Because at a certain point, you're going to see that it's going to be one group that's going to want to conquer. What else I'm speaking on? So I spoke on that. God been showing me other little stuff too. But he been telling me about the conquering and all that. So that's why I'm speaking on it to y'all. Like he been speaking on me about that. Ain't too much more been going on lately. As far as what I've been reading, I just been stuck in the book of Hebrew. And Jesus dying on the cross and what that cross actually represents for humankind. And it's so much deeper than salvation. It's so much deeper. Like he took like every single problem, every single issue, everything you could possibly go through on earth. That's what the cross represented. And that means you got authority over every single thing that the cross represents. So you got authority over healing. You got authority over your salvation. You got authority over every single thing that the church don't even talk about, that the cross represented when he died on the cross. So the cross, I've been just like reading it, and because of my memory and what went on, the only thing that I can understand right now is probably Hebrew. Probably Hebrew and Romans. I read that other stuff, I'm like, what is this? But Hebrew seemed to come easy to me mentally, so I just been stuck in the book of Hebrew, and I've been stuck on Jesus and just everything that, like, what his death actually represent in the dynamic of what was included in him dying on the cross. Like it was way more than our salvation. Him dying on the cross, it was so much more that was released back to us. The dominion that was taken from us. It was so much more that was given right back to us with him just dying on the cross that don't nobody really talk about. So I kind of been like in there reading about that, stuck on it right now. Yeah. So y'all just enjoy y'all day. Get your water. Get a generator. We getting out of summer. I already told y'all what I seen about this ice and this cold that's coming. So all this in motion. I already told you God getting us a break from the cold, because I had that vision about the cold. He was talking to me about the cold. But then we went into spring, and I was like, oh, God getting us a little break. But we finna go right back to this cold, y'all. So be mindful of that. Try to bundle up, get what you need to get. Trying to see what else I need to say. Bundle up, get what you need to get. I don't really have too much more to talk about as far as vision, stuff like that. If he come to me with something urgent, I'll post it. And I guess God been giving me confirmation through what I've been speaking publicly to you all. Because first I spoke on the bird nest. I just spoke on this bird nest and just paying attention to the bird. And then when I get out, and then when I look at my yard, I actually see a bird nest that fell out the tree just sitting in my yard. And it was just like a sign for me. And then I did the other video, and I was just talking about this bus was out of place. I was just like, it's just this bus. And then boom, I look on the news, and then I see a bus accident. And it was just like confirmation for what he's showing me. But God is so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. I was laughing about the bird nest. Because that tickled me. I'm like, I was just talking about bird nest. Then it's a bird nest. And then I'm like, dog, I was just talking about a bus. And then it's a bus accident. Like, I'm like, what are the chances, y'all? What are the chances? And God saying, ain't no chances. It ain't luck. He like, it ain't coincidence. And I'm finna prove it to you. So like the smallest little thing I talk about, it be like confirmation. It be something dealing with something that just be just out, just some stuff that you wouldn't even think that be be what it is. Yeah. So yeah, y'all, I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Y'all enjoy y'all day. And I'm gonna start writing down what he's telling me. He telling me I gotta start writing this stuff down. So I ain't write down this week, but starting today, Saturday, Sabbath, I'm finna put my journal in my room under my pillow. So if he got something to say, if I see anything, y'all, I'm writing it down. And maybe I don't need to stop. Maybe I need to stop speaking what I see. All I do is write down what I see, y'all. I be like, I spy a cat. I spy a bird nest. I spy a bus. Yeah, y'all. I'm tickling myself. Yeah, I'm going to talk to y'all later. Enjoy y'all day.